Carson, if you saw this either, because it was blowing up on Twitter, obviously, with Nolan Smith being there. But the fact that Micah Parsons is teaching Nolan Smith, hopefully, to sack Dak Prescott, that's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Give us some tips of the trade of what we could do, how he should be working. But then he's going to parlay that into, because everybody starts saying, well, what about Hassan Reddick? What is he working out with him? Yes, he's going to work out with Hassan Reddick. But it's like, just get all the knowledge that you can right now. And it seems like he's soaking up all the information, getting all the reps that he can, and then lead up to training camp. I'm just, again, you could tell I'm all very high on Nolan Smith. There's a reason that I purchased his jersey. There's a reason that I'm all hyped up for him, but it's positive, right? I mean, we're not going to see a whole lot in OTAs.
Yeah.
Everyone looks impressive as they're going through the drills, but it's just, you start to see, there's guys that you look at and read about and you're like, okay, he has that it factor so far from what we've seen and heard, but it still has to translate on the field. So we'll see.
Is he the player you're most excited about from the rookie class this year?
Yes,
you have Carter and Sidney Brown, right? And
for sure. Yes.
Okay. So
not to knock those players. I love all of them because I in the show today, I was like, I gotta be careful because as soon as I say that, everyone's like, oh, these other rookies. I love them all. I love the picks. But yes, there's something about it to me that not only Nolan Smith's character, his work ethic, his passion, motivation, but the happy juice energy, that everyone's talking about for BG. But it's like, I don't know, there's something about him, and I can't even really grasp it or put it into great words of what it is, but I feel like, yes, he's got a lot of talent, but there's that extra motivation, the extra gear that he seems to have, kind of the Energizer Bunny. So yeah, I'm completely pumped up. Again, it may be a rookie season where we go, oh, hey, he had 5 sacks. He had 3 sacks. Nothing crazy from a stats perspective, but the willingness to learn, the willingness to get better, and he's got that humility as well as being hungry. I'm totally hyped up on Nolan Smith.
Brandon Graham played 13 games his rookie year in 2010. He had 3 sacks. He had 0 in 2011 because he was injured. 5 in 2022. 3 in 2013. He didn't get above 5.5 until year 6. So it can take a little while for these guys to figure things out. I want to do quickly one more thing on Nolan Smith, and then we will move on. First off, welcome everybody into the show. Got a bunch of people showing up here. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying it. Ohana Means Family says, what's up, Thomas? What's up, Josh? What's up, man? How's it going?
What's up?
Is locked in. Alfonso Gudia is in there. Philly, the podcast. Joe Castro says, what's up, guys? What's up, Joe? Hope you're doing well.
What's up, Joe?
Brian Bidding says, love the show. Andrea, our jersey winner. They still haven't shipped, by the way, Andrea. I have not gotten a shipping notification on the Carter jersey
for me.
Yet.
It's pending, so Tyler will get his eventually. But
yeah, we sent you the order confirmation, but those things are still pending. I mean, geez, it's been over a month since the NFL draft, which is wild. Austin says the Eagles have the best team in the NFL. I think most people would agree with that. And some AFC stuff we'll talk about a little bit later on, which can change. Stephon Diggs and the Bills are quite the circus the past couple of days. Quite the circus. Let's see. Brian says, gentlemen, it's going to be a great 5 to 7 years. We are so blessed. Yes, we are 100%. Let's see here. Larry Jackson, feel like we'll have 4 immediate impact players from this draft. Going to be a bright future for the Birds. So keep giving your questions in. We'll keep answering those and keep moving on. One final thought on Nolan Smith here. Did you see that it was a tweet? It was a Jacob Media tweet. I don't know what personality said that, but he compared Nolan Smith to being Fred Warner. And I thought that was very strange.
Yeah.
I would need to listen to the entire context because Fred Warner's a middle linebacker, Nolan Smith as an outside linebacker who's going to, really rush the passer mainly. You mentioned Sean Desai, obviously thinking about potentially, dropping him back in coverage, which he did with Hassan Reddick. So it's not anything out of the blue. That is going to be interesting to see where he's going to work in terms of Nolan Smith in individual drills, especially when you get to training camp, right? Is he with the defensive ends the entire time? Is he with the linebackers next to Davion Taylor and Nakobe Dean working on how to play a true outside linebacker position? That to me seems something that shouldn't happen because you'd want him to rush the passer. That was his true real job at UGA. But in comparison to Fred Warner, maybe size and speed and athleticism wise makes sense, but he's not a middle linebacker and they're not going to try and convert him. It just wouldn't make sense to me.
I agree. I saw the comment and I was kind of like, okay, I need to go back and look at it. I didn't hear a whole lot of the extra context around it. So I'm kind of with you, but I like the comparison. Yeah. I mean, that's a very good player to be compared to, but to your point, it's kind of like, okay, he's not going to play that middle linebacker spot. Now he may get moved into a linebacker role, but it'll be that outside linebacker, maybe drop into some coverage. But I think that he's too talented to rush the passer and there's too much potential there to go, let's move him back and play him as more of a solidified linebacker and just kind of blitzing here or there. But I don't know. I'd have to read into it more because I didn't get full context of it either.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. Brian says he has the engine mentality, smart and driven, OMG athletic freak. There is this, and I'm not harping on him, but I would love to know what other teams thought of Nolan Smith who might have needed a pass rusher in the early 20s who passed on him. What was their knock, right? Was it just production? Was it size? I have no idea. I would just be fascinated to see if people just straight whiffed on Nolan Smith and he went to 30. I mean, Lamar Jackson went super late in the draft. Another quarterbacks were taken ahead of him, and that obviously was teams overlooking it, so that can happen. But always would be curious how that guy got to 30 because it feels like he could be the steal of the draft, and if that's the case, Philadelphia is going to be, like people are saying in the comments, good for a very long time.
I agree. I was looking it up while you were talking, just the weaknesses, and this is potential because I didn't get reports on it, but the NFL.com's official scouting report, I think it's from Lance, who is that? I'll have to look back and see. Lance, whatever's Zierlein. But he said his weaknesses: slender through waist and hips with need for more mass, unable to generate speed to power conversion, rush plan can be monotonous and lacking counters, and unable to control block and shed quickly, exerts excessive strain to battle tackles at the point of attack, very average pursuit speed for a smaller player.
So I mean, he's small. That everything
basically
that
that's
he's small.
Lacking strength and speed and everything. But you know,
I mean, small. Micah Parsons small,
right? And if you go and look at the weaknesses for Micah Parsons, there's some similarities there. Like when he was starting, there's he's good, but there could be some weakness. There could be some concerns, and I mean, we know how that turned down. And same deal with Von Miller. So it's always a little bit of a guessing game. I mean, how often are these scouting reports, you read them back to some Hall of Fame and you're like, wow, how wrong were you? But there's a lot of them, I'm sure, that are accurate. So I don't know. There's just something outside of just the actual physical skills. It's like the intangibles of Nolan Smith that he's different. I'm telling you, he is different.
Bloodshot says breakout player. We've talked about breakout players. Breakout player this year. There's a lot of options. Does Reed Blankenship become like a real solid starter in this league? I think he might.
Maybe.
I think he might. But there are options. Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, Quez Watkins, Tyler Steen. Pick another one. Let's see. DeAndre Swift. Like
Cam Jurgens.
There's a bajillion.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah.
I could go with a ton, obviously. And I think we've, the reports are, and if you're covering any of the media or the news, just about every other day, you can say, oh, this is the top breakout candidate. No, it's this guy. It's a different one. It just changes. So yes, there's lots of names like you mentioned, but I don't know. Out of all the names there, I feel like I'd have to go with Nakobe Dean. I think that there's so much, there is pressure, but I think that he can handle it. But I just think that there's so much riding on this season for him being the play caller. It's not only like he's got to have the production, but he's the guy with the green dot. Like he's the leader of the defense. And so I think that a lot, not all of it, but a lot of the defensive success is going to ride on Nakobe Dean's shoulders. And so I think if I'm saying who the top breakout candidate or who the breakout is going to be, I think it's Nakobe Dean.